Hi, my name is Lorena. I'm a spiritual life coach, and my channel is all about teaching you how to change your self-concept and your state of being in order to recreate your reality through a holistic and emotionally integrated approach. So you will learn all about my method here. So if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And then we're gonna get started right away with today's topic, which is a bit overdue. It's all about what to do when your manifestation is delayed, why it happens. I have a similar video already, not quite the same. This one is going to be a lot more in depth, but I have a video on why your manifestation may not be here yet, what the reasons for that may be. And I'm going to put an info box above my head, and I'm also going to link it below in the description so you can check that out if you haven't seen that one yet. But in this video, I'm going to go a bit more in depth based on some realizations that I've had on a personal level, and that's something that I recently shared in a post, and that's kind of what inspired this video. So basically, after I started my business, and even before then, actually, for a long time, I wanted my audience to grow, right? I wanted to reach more people, and that was one of the things that I was personally working on manifesting. So I wanted to reach more people on social media and create community. And it was so stagnant, right? It was so stagnant. My audience just would not grow. Whilst this was not really about numbers for me, it wasn't, about gaining followers, but it was about expanding my reach. And it just wasn't working. It just wasn't happening. And my preferred platform, my preferred medium, nothing against YouTube, love YouTube, but my preferred medium was always Instagram. Has its disadvantages as well, but I really enjoy Instagram. So I wanted to primarily grow my audience on Instagram because that's just where I enjoy spending time the most, where I'm the most active. So if you're not following me there, I recommend you follow me there because you'll get a lot more. I wanted it to be Instagram, and everybody was telling me it's really hard to grow on Instagram. It's really difficult to reach people on Instagram. Your posts really don't have a long shelf life. People were telling me, you need to get on other platforms. You need to get on YouTube. And I'm glad I got on YouTube because I really enjoy it here. And it's a very different energy and I do like it. But I still wanted Instagram to be my primary platform. And I chose not to really listen to those people because I knew it would be possible. But it just still didn't happen, although I believed that it was possible, although I thought I was embodied in that state, but I wasn't. I'll get to that, and it wouldn't happen. And then in the last few months, my Instagram account has more or less kicked off, meaning a few of my posts just went viral, and that grew my audience a lot, and more people have been engaging, more people have been sharing. Obviously, I don't really care about the number of followers, but what I recognized when this started happening was that I was receiving lots of notifications and lots of messages, lots and lots of them, that I obviously hadn't before with a smaller audience. Like I had literally been stagnant at the same number for a year or more. And then I realized that my nervous system felt a little activated from all these messages, all these notifications, but I could hold it. I was still poised, I was still embodied, and yes, this is normal, because that's what happens when your manifestation comes in. It feels normal, it feels natural. You're not going to be like, oh my god, this is so exciting. It's going to be like, yeah, of course this happened. Of course, it just makes sense. Because you've been living in that internally before anyway. So that's kind of how my nervous system responded, but it made me realize that prior to this, my nervous system had not been calibrated to be able to hold a large number of people. Similarly, I held a webinar last month where over 100 people attended live. Over 350 people downloaded the webinar. I'm actually going to link it below for you because why the hell not? So you can watch the replay if you've not watched it yet. It was all about embodying a new self-concept and how to do that, how to step into that, and how to sustain that. And that's a lot of people for me. That was my first ever webinar that I held. And it's great that I got so many people interested and that I was able to hold space for that many people, but your nervous system needs to be able to hold this. And previously, my nervous system probably would not have been able to hold it. And I realized that's why the manifestation took so long to arrive, because my subconscious was protecting me, because it would have overwhelmed me. It would have been too much. I would not have been able to hold this and to feel embodied in this and to feel safe with this. It would have activated me too much. It would have scared me and overwhelmed me. The reason I'm sharing this story with you is because this applies to any manifestation. Let's say you want to manifest a lot of wealth, and the number you're striving towards in terms of financial abundance is something that on some level feels like something that you can't hold, that your nervous system can't hold. Then it's not going to come in until you feel safe to receive it, until you feel like your body can receive it. Not just your mind, not just your imagination, but you can actually hold it in your physical embodiment. So what can play into that is, of course, the fear of the responsibility that may come with that. And the same thing applies to other manifestations. So for example, if you want to manifest living in a huge house, like a huge fancy house, and some part of you, the physical part of you, your nervous system is not prepared for what it means to actually be living in that house and having all the space and maybe having the responsibility of cleaning that or hiring a cleaner and managing all that, then it's not going to happen yet. Or if you want to manifest a relationship, but your nervous system does not feel safe to be in a relationship because maybe you've experienced rejection or betrayal or abandonment so much that your body does not feel safe to be in a relationship, you're subconsciously going to keep it away. So it's so important to prepare your nervous system, not just your mind, to hold the capacity of whatever you want to manifest. And that includes self-soothing, that includes creating internal safety in your body so you aren't so scared of the unknown. But it also includes calibrating it for expansion, because you are always expanding. You are always expanding into new versions of yourself. Often when we're focused on something very specific and we have a goal in mind, we're only focused on one state or one self-concept, or maybe a few different ones, but we don't even see the possibility of what lies behind that and what lies further in the future, because there's even so much more than what you can currently imagine that's possible for you, and that's already there for you, and that's already a version that resides within you that you need to step into in order to make that happen. You are always expanding, and you need to be able to prepare your body, your nervous system to receive that, to open up to that, to expand into that, to stretch into that, rather than stay where you are. Only then you're going to be able to fully surrender and receive whatever it is that you want to receive. It's really, really valuable to know about the nervous system and to know how to manage it and soothe yourself and fully open up and surrender and create the safety within yourself. Because at the end of the day, you need to feel safe. And that's why you may often have an attachment to your old reality, although that's not what you want to experience, although you don't want to stay in this old state, but you do it because it feels safe. What you don't know doesn't feel safe. You don't know how you'll react. And your nervous system is always going to try and protect you, right? It's safer and more secure to stay in the known, even if that's maybe painful or not comfortable. At least you know what to expect. Because your manifestation may just not have unfolded yet because there's too much fear. There's fear of change, fear of success, fear of the unknown. And that fear is first something to work through. And that's why shadow work is so important. You know, shadow work is not this big healing project of fixing yourself. Sometimes when I talk about shadow work, people start getting a fear of getting stuck in an eternal cycle of healing. That's not what it is. It's a practice in unconditional self-love, love for all parts of yourself. And it does include facing fears. And if you are able to face those fears and create that internal safety within, then you are ready to step into the reality that you want to experience with your whole being, and you can feel safe and relaxed in it. And that's when it's so easy for it to come and appear in your physical reality, really. And at the same time, on a slightly different note, it's also important that you don't turn your new reality into your savior. That you don't have this attachment. I know people don't like hearing they shouldn't have attachment to their desired reality, because lots of people do, and it's kind of normal to some extent. You know, you really want it, of course you do, but it's okay to want it. But when you need it for you to be happy, when you have a strong attachment to, I need this to happen, otherwise I'm not going to be happy, that's when it really turns into a problem. And that's how you also keep it away, because then you're not open to receiving it. You're having this huge expectation. To break it down a little bit and make it a bit more tangible to you, how do you solve this? If your manifestation is delayed and you know it's because on some level you're not ready for it, because that's essentially what it is. If it's not here yet, then on some level you're not ready for it. Here are some ways to solve this. Number one, that's what the main part of this video has been about, is nervous system work. Making sure your nervous system is calibrated to be able to receive and feel safe in your new reality. So that can include techniques to self-soothe. So you create this internal safety. It can include things like breath work and Kundalini yoga. And then the second thing is getting to know your subconscious. So that means being really radically honest with yourself, not pretending, but really being open and honest with yourself about what's going on, what you're fearing. Doing the shadow work, dream work can be powerful for this as well. And lastly, release the attachment. And you may say, how the hell do I do that? The way you do that is by finding out why you are so attached to it, why you need it to happen. What do you think this thing, this manifestation, is going to give you? And how can you create that yourself? How can you meet that need yourself so you can want it to happen? You can feel into what it would be like for it to happen, but it's not something that you need to happen in order to be happy, because you have that internal safety, you have your needs met internally already. So I hope this helped you. I hope this wasn't too chaotic. Yeah, let me know what you think about this. Leave me a comment. I also would like to know from you, I have been thinking about going live here on YouTube. I'm kind of nervous to do this, but I've been thinking about going live here on YouTube and doing a little live Q&A. Let me know if you're interested in this and if you would come live, because there is not really a point in doing this if people aren't going to be there. So that would be in 2 weeks from today. Let me know if you'd like that, and then we'll make it happen. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in a couple of weeks, maybe live.